It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Minnesota's 92 KQRS on a Friday, or as Def Leppard would say, on a Friday. Paul Fletcher, I'm feeling Minnesota. My God, man, what is happening in the world?
I'll tell you what's happening in the world. The Minnesota Wild and the city of St. Paul are scaling back their ambitious plans for an Xcel Energy Center renovation. Initially, they proposed a budget, you maybe saw this, of $769 million, and they wanted the state to pay for $394 million of it.
Yeah.
They weren't super excited about that.
Okay.
The new proposal says a budget of $488 million, asking the state for only $50 million. And out of the new proposal are revamps of the River Center and the 93-year-old Roy Wilkins Auditorium.
Okay, then.
But they're largely, at least you give them credit, that seems like they're being reasonable.
Yep.
And they're not going pounding fists saying, we need it, give it to us. They're trying to be reasonable, and they're covering most of it.
They're feeling leverage light right now.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
would
that
say
would be
that's
called.
probably very realistic.
Yeah.
National Security Advisor Mike Waltz was relieved of his current role and will become ambassador of the United Nations, according to a social media post by President Donald Trump yesterday. The decision comes after fallout from a leak of military plans in a Signal group chat. Perhaps you'd call it the group chat heard around the world. Secretary of State Marco Rubio will fill the role on an interim basis, so that gives me a lot of confidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, nothing like a well-oiled machine.
Bruce Springsteen has released yet another track it just says another track from his unreleased 7-album set titled Faithless. The song is said to have a smooth Nebraska vibe with a touch of Dylan influence. Faithless was intended to be the title track of an unreleased album that would have come between Devils and Dust and the Seeger sessions. The album was meant to be a film soundtrack, but the film was never made.
Only Springsteen would release an album of previously unreleased songs, and it's a 7-album set.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, one at a time. Come on. Easy.
Well,
how about an EP?
Well, and I love that it's for a film soundtrack from a movie that was never made. Like, can't you just let it go? I mean, I guess if you're Bruce, you just do what you want to do, right? But
well, he's ahead of the curve every time. This movie may or may not be made, but if the bell rings, I will have already come out swinging.
He describes the collection of songs as atmospheric music that he thought would fit the film. So it'll be great as a soundtrack to nothing, I guess.
By the way, I'm not trying to kick the boss in the shins. I just think it's like that whole work ethic thing is undersold, honestly.
100%.
Here's some songs you never heard. 7 albums worth. Okay.
Yeah. Sister Ina Canabaro passed away on Wednesday. Why is this significant? Just a few weeks shy of her 117th birthday. She was the oldest person alive. Canabaro, born on May 27, 1908, was confirmed in January as the world's oldest living person. At the time, she said, quote, "I'm young, pretty, and friendly. All very good, positive qualities that you have too."
I like it.
I didn't expect to hear someone who was in their 60s when the moonshot happened was still alive.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, go figure.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Lord. So let's talk sports, shall we? Paul, you okay over there? The Minnesota Wild,
fine.
defying my expectations and pissing me off, lost a game last night, which ended their season, in fact. I called it. I said, by God, we're going to win this thing, guys, because I'm just trying to shake off the bad juju in the air here. Listen, I understand it's very disappointing after the season that the Wild just had, starting so strong, but then being decimated with injuries, losing their 2 best players for the better part of the season, not having a whole lot of time to click it in. It could have been a lot worse. They went toe-to-toe with the Golden Knights. And I'm not one of those guys who says this bodes well for next season, because in pro sports, I never believe that. So I'm not saying this is going to be anything in a year, in a year from now. It's not going to mean a thing. Although that said, it was a fine finish. A team that had to get in on the final day of the season. They had a fine. Who am I kidding? This sucks, man.
Here's an idea.
I was trying to be something other than
what? No,
you got to be kidding me.
Everything you said is actually true. They're gonna shake off Parisi and Suter's contracts, clearing up close to $14 million in cap space. Now, that's not going to buy nearly as much as we think, because there are other contracts that need to be dealt with.
Right.
But you've got Zeev Bouillon, who came in, got some experience.
Sure.
And most of their core is pretty young, and most of their core is pretty good.
Yeah.
There are reasons for optimism. My thing is, it's like, here's the thing. We had an unbelievably fun run with Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yep.
I left the game early, so I didn't get to see. I'm sure there was some seriously serious post-game drama with that. We've got a team of incredibly likable humans, which I love. I like to get behind people I can, actually like support and not just in a hockey sense.
Okay.
So, but I can't explain it. This year, I'm just like, I don't want to hear it. It's 8 straight out in the first round, and it just sucks. That's all there is to it. It sucks. I want to figure out a way. Vegas had a couple of chances last night. Not a lot. They had a couple of chances, and guess what? They cashed in on them.
It's all about being opportunistic. Good teams are more opportunistic. That's I feel like in hockey more than any other sport, the line between good and great is simply how opportunistic you are, because everybody has the same type of chances. Everybody has the same doors open. It's the experienced teams that seem to recognize it a second before it happens.
The Wild had them hemmed in for, this is just one quick example, a microcosm of last night. The Wild had them hemmed in for like a couple of shift changes. They get one relief or a pass out, nice pass like a saucer pass like Kaprizov made the other night.
Yeah.
On Eichel's stick at the blue line, I just went, it's a goal. He's going to bury it. He's not going to miss, and he did. And that was the goal that made it 2-1, and it was already the backbreaker, I thought.
Golden State wins tonight in Game 6. Then the Golden State-Minnesota series will start Monday night at the Target Center. Okay. If that series goes to 7 and Golden State wins on Sunday, then the series begins on Tuesday. However, if Houston wins the next 2, then the Wolves-Rockets series will start Tuesday night in Houston. So let's hope the Warriors pull through. I want to host the next round of the playoffs myself, and I am willing to concede that Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler have far more playoff experience than we do. But after those 3 guys, the Warriors have basically you, me, and Ryder playing for them. So I feel pretty good in a 7-game series against the Golden State Warriors.
My jump shot's not real strong. So you would rather
you haven't seen the rest of the Warriors roster, trust me.
Yeah. So you'd rather have that than a bit more rest. Maybe because the Wolves are so young.
It's one day either way.
Okay, right.
And we're young, and we've already had 2 days off. I think we're going to be in good shape. Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins baseball team has hit 139 home runs in his career. That's good for 15th all-time. Okay. Last night, stole a base, which gives him 100 stolen bases in his career. He's only the 3rd Twin to ever say got 100 dingers and 100 stolen bases. The other 2, Kirby Puckett and Torrey Hunter.
Those guys are pretty good.
Center fielders. That's good company.
They were pretty good at baseball.
Pretty great. And by the way, here's something Byron Buxton has that no other Twin, no other player has: the highest stolen base success rate in Major League history for anyone with 100 steals.
Wow.
He's been thrown out 12 times out of 100 attempts. The greatest in Major League history, which goes back to the year 952 BC, as we all know.
Do you know what the average is? Like success rate?
No, I have no idea.
Okay. All right.
But I know that that's the best, and so why continue the Google search? I was like, screw it. He's number 1.
Fair enough.
Hey, Mounds View, good to have you with us on a Friday morning. I hope everybody in Mounds View has wonderful plans for the weekend, and I hope you go out and execute those plans to the best of your ability.
Damn straight.
Tomorrow at some point, 5:20ish p.m., I will turn on the TV, and I will tune into the greatest 2 minutes, the fastest 2 minutes in sports, the Kentucky Derby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and this is not just because I am from the uncommonwealth of Kentucky, but it's because it's a fantastic sporting event. I've been to the Kentucky Derby a few times, and it is unlike anything else you can experience. I can assure you of that. That said, let's take a look at some of the horses that we'll see on the track.
Okay.
And then, by the way, let's look back a little bit. I want to test you guys. I want to test your Derby history knowledge.
Okay.
I'm going to throw a few horse names your way, and I want you to tell me not the year they ran, but if they are, in fact, actual horse names.
Okay, yes.
Okay? Trust me, this is going to be worth the wait.
92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. That's so weird. The killer in me is Phyllis Diller in you. I've never understood what the Phyllis Diller reference was all about.
Misheard lyrics.
Oh, is that what that is?
I think so.
Thought I had that one right. The Kentucky Derby is tomorrow, which means the Oaks is today. By the way, the Oaks is on Friday night at Churchill Downs. That's when the Phillies run. That race is every bit as cool, as just as much money is thrown on that one.
Yep.
And really it doesn't matter because the mint juleps are flowing and everybody's having a good time. And it doesn't matter if it's donkeys or horses or rats out there. Everyone's having fun.
As you've explained it to me a couple of times, the Derby is a lot like Sturgis for horses.
Man, I've been to both, and I will say I look at the Kentucky Derby and I just there's no comparison. It's It's just the biggest bunch. You've got all the people in the giant hats and you got the rich people, you got the college kids, you got the acid heads, you got the stoners, you got the freaks. It's the biggest melting pot of people all at one event that I've ever experienced. I've never been around anything so bizarre and weird. And you think you're like tripping when you're completely stone cold sober. It's just so. And outside the track, all along Central Avenue, as you walk up to the track, you've got people on the street. You've got like snake handling Pentecostal Appalachian preachers standing there, right next to a Satanist church, right next to tofu, for better health, right next to the granola. It's just everyone sets up their little booth to get your attention, and then there's jugglers, and then there's people breathing fire. It's a completely insane. All of the weirdest humanity all together.
A cornucopia.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it just defies description. But most importantly, the bourbon just flows. And by the end of the day, everyone's in a good mood.
On TV,
yeah.
Most sporting events, I'm like, all right, enough. Get on with it. I just want to watch the Super Bowl or whatever. I love the build-up to Kentucky Derby because you watch 3 hours of build-up for 2 minutes of racing.
They do
a great job.
It really is incredible.
Yeah,
so every year, 60,000 horse names, thoroughbred names. Everybody that runs everybody you see tomorrow on the track, the horses have a name.
Yep.
60,000 names are submitted each year to the Racehorse Naming Rights Authority.
Is the rule is that you can't ever have one that's been used before?
You got to. Okay. It's just like finding a band name. Good luck. So the Racehorse Naming Rights Authority, the Jockey Club, they reject about a third of the name submissions every single year. So I'm going to throw a few at you, and you tell me if this was an actual name submitted or is it just this me being funny.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Okay, from 2005, Brangelina.
No, that's lame.
That was actually submitted.
What? Brangelina?
2004, Riding Miss Daisy.
No.
Yes. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, that was a submission. Come on, of course it was. Riding Miss Daisy? Who wouldn't want to see a horse called Riding Miss Daisy?
Fair enough.
Is Phyllis Diller's Killer on there?
I don't see that one on the list.
I'm sending that one in for my horse.
Okay.
How about this one? This was a horse's name, yes or no? What am I, chopped liver? All one word.
Yes.
No.
Indeed it was.
Yeah.
What am I, chopped liver?
I remember that one, actually, strangely.
Okay, how about this? This is a reference to, 30 years ago when we were all far more, not paying attention to the headlines. Lewinsky, just one word. Lewinsky, 1996.
No.
Yes or no?
No, too easy.
Absolutely true.
Really?
Wow.
Go figure. Isn't that crazy? 1991, yes or no? Walk of Shame.
1991?
Yeah, Walk of Shame.
No, we weren't doing Walks of Shame in 91.
Oh, but the horses were. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Walk of Shame. So instead of giving me great band names, you could say the same thing about great horse names. The year 2000, horse or not a horse? One word, junk in the trunk.
No.
Junk in the trunk.
One of these has to be no.
Have you never stood next to a thoroughbred and taken a look at those hindquarters?
Yeah,
there's junk in the trunk. That's a real name.
Wow. All right.
Oh, damn straight it is. Tomorrow's list has nothing. Nobody anywhere near as cool as junk in the trunk will be on the track.
No goofballs tomorrow?
Nah, I'm sorry. That's just not going to be the case.
I always thought a good name for a horse would be Amish Dragster.
Amish Dragster. That's like
a fast car would be a dragster, and a fast Amish vehicle would be a racehorse.
Well, I guess that would make sense. That would check out.
Yeah,
I bet it's
you don't like it?
It's probably is taken. I bet someone's tried it. There's 60,000 a year that people are throwing up the flagpole, up the Amish flagpole.
Yeah.
Hey, ever discover something in a house? Let's say you move into a new house or a new apartment. Did you ever discover something that the previous owners left for you to discover, like in a hidden spot? Could be anything, like a bottle in the floorboards, maybe a shoebox full of cash in the attic. You ever find anything in a house you moved into? Or, even better yet, did you ever leave anything for the next people to find?
Ooh.
Let's discuss, shall we?
Okay.
Have you ever moved into a house or an apartment, a new spot, a new home, and found something, either in a cabinet, hidden in a closet, under a strip of a carpet?
Like mold?
No, something maybe left behind,
really
like an artifact or a clue or something confusing. Or have you ever left something for someone else to find? I mean, that's just something to think about. When you're moving into a new place, before you unbox all your stuff, you're in this empty house. Do you ever take a good hard look around to see if you find something? You got to look on your Facebook.
2012, when we moved up to Minneapolis, we had a nice little house in Omaha. Mm-hmm. Didn't realize it until after we unpacked here.
Okay.
We left our entire pot and pan set that we got for our wedding in the, that little drawer that's under the oven?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It was brand new, beautiful.
Really?
Maybe a year and a half old. I totally forgot about this until my wife texted me and reminded me. I mean, nothing creepy, but man, a couple $100 worth of pots and pans.
I'm stoked to find this if I'm moving in. I'm like, bonus gift from the last tenant.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. Ryder,
so much.
Anything you got?
Oh, of course, me and Mr. Ryder have a plan for like sometime in 2060 something or another when we move out of the house. So we live in a house in South Minneapolis that was built in 1914. There's a single car garage that was probably done in the 30s.
Okay.
And it's got the garage pit in it. So like you can crawl underneath your car like they do at a mechanic.
Oh, got it. Really?
Dude.
Yeah, but you wouldn't really want to use it because the ladder is also from the 30s.
Yeah,
and
sure.
So our house, of course, is decorated pretty much all in skulls and other skeleton paraphernalia.
Shocking. That's shocking.
Yeah,
I
right.
know. So we've got one of those that's like 5 feet or so, not the big 12-foot one. I mean, someday, fingers crossed. But I broke one of the 5-foot ones. Because I'm not careful with my things.
You're not.
And Steven went and threw it into the garage pit for somebody to find in like 40 years.
Yeah, of course he did. That's going to be fantastic.
And he's real confident that they're going to think this is like real human remains, but I think they'll have the technology to know it's just plastic.
They'll pull their phone out and just take a screenshot, and the phone will go, "This is a plastic This was purchased at Walmart in 1979." It'll pop up immediately. But
this is from Spencer Gifts.
But it's a good thought. I love the thought of that. 651-989-ROCK. If you've ever found something, we did see a story. Someone shared a very creepy thing she and her husband found, and we've already got some pretty good texts. 651-989-ROCK. What did you leave, or better yet, what creepy things did you find? Here's a text. I was finishing a room in the basement of the house we bought from my mother-in-law to stay in, and when I put some wiring over the top of the beam in the basement, I knocked 3 $100 bills down. Needless to say, while I was remodeling the rest of the basement, I was looking all over the place for more hidden money.
Nice.
Yeah, I imagine you were.
Mother-in-law was in the mob?
Apparently so. We moved into a house when I was 10 years old, and down in the basement, there was like a little closet area off of it. It was actually built as a bomb shelter in the early 50s.
Oh, creepy.
Cement walls lined with lead in the middle of the cement blocks, like a literal, this will protect you in case the Russians attack type of thing. And there was a tiny little room off of that. And in that room, there were there were hundreds, if not over 1,000 National Geographics.
Oh, really?
That the previous owner had collected and left behind. And as this was the mid-'70s, at no point did it occur to me, those will be worth a fortune on eBay one day.
Yeah.
But, of course, for me and my brothers, that was a chance to just flip through them all looking for, pictures of, like, nude pygmies and stuff.
Right. That's exactly where your mind goes. That's exactly what I was just thinking now, of course.
Of course. Here's a good text. My college roommate left our bong in one of the cupboards under the kitchen sink for the next group of kids to find it. Oh. It was a really nice bong, too. I bet it was. Check this out. A woman named Anita and her husband, they moved into a new home a few months ago. This is not local. This was in Seattle. They're in the kitchen. They're talking about renovations they want to make, and then suddenly found a handwritten note in one of their cabinets, and it was kind of creepy. It was this really well-hidden bit of paper tucked tightly into the top of the cabinet, and the woman said it was really out of sight unless you got all the way down and were looking up, to find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the folded up note says, "Don't look under the floor." And then had a series of numbers, like 15 numbers, 290653000. Don't look under the floor, and a long series of numbers. And they were kind of like, well, hang on. What could this possibly mean? They searched the numbers online. They were trying to find anything. Like, is it a lockbox at a bank? What do you call it? Safety deposit box?
Yeah.
Is it... They divided
Swiss
their unit number, their zip code, the year the building was built. They were trying to come up with any combination. No luck whatsoever. And then somebody was like, it's probably a library card number. It probably could be the name of a book.
Library card?
But they resisted the urge to look under the floor. They've not torn up the floorboard. Which I'm sure if they did, there'd be just a note that says, I made you look.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right?
That's what you're dealing with right there.
So do you two take this further, or do you just write it off as kids being goofballs and not think about it again, or do you actually reach out to the police or something?
I don't think I could just let it go. It would eat at me and gnaw at me. And
it would bug me.
What is this?
It would bug me.
It would turn into an obsession.
I'd be waiting for a knock on the door from somebody. Did you find a note? Did you find a note?
Maybe it's a Swiss bank account number or offshore Cayman kind of a bit.
That's what I'm thinking.
On.
This is a great text. 651-989-ROCK if you've got a story that fits. Kimberly texted in, several years ago, a pipe broke and flooded our kitchen, ruined part of the carpet going into our living room. When we got the carpet replaced, my husband laid on the floor, on the subflooring, and had me chalk out an outline of his body as if he had been murdered. Yes, so if anybody ever pulls up that carpeting, they'll get to find that.
Oh.
That is incredible.
That is living life correctly.
And check this out. She goes on, in the kitchen, we had to pull out all of our cabinets. I was in radiology school. I had a fake skull, and my husband took a fake gold ring and put it in the teeth of the skull, put it underneath one of the new cabinets.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody pulls those cabinets out, they're going to get quite a shock. That's pretty great.
I mean, that's just living life the right way. Yeah. Like, they're having fun and enjoying life.
I feel
Absolutely.
like I just
Well
made
done.
a new friend with Kimberly.
Yeah.
No, it's very, very much right up your alley. I left an old school mini beat up grand piano in my rental garage when I moved from Brooklyn Park to the Northeast. That's from Tubby. A beat up a mini grand piano. That's
because Tubby couldn't move it.
Yeah,
that one was built into the house.
Making somebody else's problem.
I mean, if you get someone to come over and tune it, and they say I can't tune it because of all the blood, okay, then you got a story,
right? Otherwise, he's just. I think it's probably. I'm sorry, Tubby, but it sounds like being lazy to me.
It does. It's just losing focus.
Yeah.
Here's a good text from a guy named Jim.
Oh, what did Dad say?
Dad says, in the walls of the house on 30th Avenue in Minneapolis, I found multiple empty Old Granddad bottles and Copenhagen tins. 1910 Sears house built by Swede carpenters. No wonder the house was askew.
He's just talking crap about the Swedes because we're Norwegian.
Of course.
I think I held on to one of those Granddaddy bottles for through college for a really, really long time.
I was going to say, what I know about Swedish carpenters, they're pretty damn good.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I mean, they need some more vowels in those words.
But I'm also Norwegian, so I support Jim's thoughts. So.
Okay. All right.
I stand with Jim. I stand with Jim on this.
Big fan of both of our Scandinavian friends. Love the Swedes, love the Nords.
I mean, that's because you don't have a dog in the fight.
That's right.
Like part German and part Irish or whatever your mud mix is.
Oh, it's a nightmare trying to figure it out. What we are, Paul, in case you're just to bring you up to speed, my family's Irish with a dose of Irish on top of some Irish. At least that's what we were led to believe. And then my sister had to go get all smart and sassy and do that 23andMe nonsense. And we were like, oh no, we're the end product of an orgy, apparently. There's just a little bit of everything in there, man. Oh, well,
you sound like my wife.
It's mostly, it's over 50% Irish, I can say. It is mostly Irish, but a whole lot of other stuff mixed in there for good measure. I can only be, I'm just, my God, if she had done that while my dad was still alive, we could have gone to him and been like, what the hell's this, man? But, come on, you tell somebody one thing and then they find out it's another. Hey, you can join Chris Nelson Saturday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's tomorrow from 3 to 5 at Fleet Farm in Blaine. Gear up for some fishing at Fleet Farm. Plus, you'll sign up if you choose to win tickets to see Stevie Nicks. That's kind of a cool way to spend the afternoon.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Good Friday morning. It is May the 2nd, and Paul Fletcher is going to share the Minnesota mood with all of us. That's what we're feeling. What are the headlines, my man?
James Beard award-winning chef and the mind behind Spoon and Stable, which I consider to be the best restaurant in town.
Okay.
Gavin Kaysen is set to open his first restaurant outside of Minnesota. The Merchant Room will be the new restaurant, and it's set to open this fall at the new Naples Beach Four Seasons.
Oh, okay.
I think he's just setting up his own retirement plan.
I would imagine so. Probably already more than halfway there.
I'm sure he's more than comfortable. I'm just saying, open a restaurant in Florida and he'll probably retire down there. That's just a guess. On some somber news, Jill Sobule, 66, died in a Minnesota house fire early Thursday morning. Her representative has confirmed It was a house fire in Woodbury, to be specific. She was best known for the 1995 hit I Kissed a Girl, widely regarded as a groundbreaking song in the LGBTQ plus pop music scene. I mean, really, she did it before that was even an acronym, you know? She was actually scheduled to perform in Denver this weekend and had multiple releases planned for June. It's just sad.
I know an awful lot of people that knew her and worked with her over the years in Nashville. She spent a lot of time there writing with people. Very, very she had the one hit, but she's been busy as hell ever since. I mean, she's just one of those people always on the go. I never met her. I don't know anybody that didn't wax on and on and on. You know, she's just so respected, so highly thought of in the songwriters community. It's a huge loss. Just my Facebook feed this morning, friends of mine from Nashville, everybody just devastated by this loss. So apparently, according to everything, a woman who did it the right way from day one.
Good to hear.
Nearly impossible to transition into that and almost impossible to transition out of it, but we're going to do it anyway. You can find Green Day now at 7-Eleven and Speedway stores. The band has partnered with the chain to release a Green Day Slurpee flavor called Kerplunk Candy Grape, inspired by cotton candy grapes, which Green Day requests on their tour riders. Of course, Kerplunk is their 1992 album, so that's where the name comes from. So I think it actually sounds kind of good. A cotton candy grape Slurpee, I'm in.
That's too much sugar, man.
Yeah, man, that's not my vibe. But it'll definitely work for somebody. I guess that's somebody's you.
Yeah, you're just sitting back waiting for the Cheez-Its Slurpee
all day long. Just salt it up, add a little cheese. I'm good.
That's right. This is absolutely insane. Smashing Pumpkins' Billy Corgan owns a tea room in Chicago's Highland Park area called Madame Zuzu's. They do teas, but they've also got a full plant-based menu. They sell vinyl. They have a small rehearsal or a small performance space as well. Last October, a car drove over the curb and directly into the front window of the shop. This is it's a little strip mall looking area. I did like a Google Street View.
Okay.
All right. It can't be more than the speed limit of like 25. I mean, you're talking like an outdoor mall type of a thing. Yeah. Okay. No curves, nothing. Okay. Car went into it in October. 2 days ago, it happened again. Another car went through the front window of Madame Zuzu's.
Wow.
There isn't. I scoured the internet as much as I could to find out what caught, why. Can't find anything. They haven't really developed that yet. Nobody really has been seriously injured. I guess Billy's mother-in-law had some minor injuries. So I mean, that's the good news out of this whole thing. But how crazy is that? Twice in what is that? 6 months?
Could it be
no,
like
it's more
the
than
Cowboys
that, but still.
Stadium type thing where certain parts of the day the sun just hits your face weird and you can't see a damn thing?
I like it. I'll go with that theory.
Drive over a curb and
it beats the theory that somebody's like, I can't stand that Billy Corgan guy.
Fair enough.
Saying, hey man, twice and once is like, man, that's weird, and twice is like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
it's a tea room for crying out loud.
He's almost more popular for cars driving into his shop than he is for tea.
Tea, interesting.
Yeah, a tea room with a performance space.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would imagine so.
I'm kind of curious now, though. If I get to Chicago, I want to stop in there.
He's supporting the young singer-songwriters in the area who like to drink tea and sing their songs to nobody in particular.
Selling vinyl and stuff, yeah.
All right.
Probably kind of a cool vibe.
Very nice. Are we good here?
I'm good.
Let's see here. We have got a Minnesota's bestest situation happening. You can go to the website, 92kqrs.com. You can vote for the bestest, a million different categories. You can even suggest your own category. Throw it up there. Voting starts on Monday. Let's do this one. One Minnesota athlete. You're putting together your own all-star team, your intramural team, okay? That's all I'm going to tell you. What athlete are you going with? Let's have a homegrown stud that you're bringing in as your ringer. Ryder, who are you taking first?
I'm taking JJ Jets, Justin Jefferson.
Really?
Yes.
No.
Fast, can catch a ball, can take hits. We've seen him rehab.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. You got JJ.
We're winning.
Okay.
What do you got?
Since we don't have any specific sport here, I'm going to just go around with the best all-around athlete I can think of, and that'd be Joe Mauer.
Wow.
He was an All-American, could have been in the NFL for football. He's pretty good at baseball. He can play hockey. I'm pretty sure he could probably hit a jump shot. So whatever sport you throw at me, we got it covered.
Okay, I'm gonna top you with that and go in his prime Dave Winfield. Because Dave Winfield Dave Winfield not only could have, he was drafted in 3 different sports.
I don't think you get to pick in his prime.
I'm sure you can. Sure you can, yeah. You can pick him in his prime.
If I don't have an intramural team, I have to take Dave Winfield now? He's 73 years old.
Because Fletcher's going to take Joe Mauer now. He's 40 and he can still do 42.
I didn't say now. I said I assumed in his prime. This is all hypothetical. I mean, if you want, I'll pick Jesse Ventura, too. I mean, he was,
This changes there. You know what? Screw you. I'm taking 73-year-old Dave Winfield. I still think, I guarantee you, he's still got the range. He's got the hops. He's got the eye-hand coordination. Whatever we're playing. I don't know if we're playing ping pong or flag football, but either way, I'm going with Big Dave.
All right.
If it's got to be somebody that's now and you can't pick them in their prime, then I'll take Matt Boldy because everybody knows that hockey players are the best athletes.
I don't think anybody knows that.
Yeah,
but okay, you run that up the flagpole, bud.
It's been run.
God's sakes. What, like, whether they all Ginger Rogers? They do what he did, but backwards. On skates. Whatever. JTR Roofing sponsoring Minnesota's bestest for us on the website. Get there. Voting starts on Monday. If we are going to compete with our draft picks and we are going to have a sporting event, it would make sense that you'd have a national anthem before the first pitch or before you drop the puck or before you do anything.
Okay.
I'd say we'd bring in Stevie Nicks for that. That's
a good call.
I'm saying. She's on the road this year. She's in shape. She's ready to sing. And in fact, not only is she ready to go, we're ready to give away some Stevie Nicks tickets in just a few. Hang with us.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Yeah. Stevie Nicks will be at the XL Energy Center August 19th. And we would love to give away some tickets. So what we're going to do is we've got a game we call Beat the Jock.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have a listener pick either Paul Fletcher or myself to compete against in a game.
I really like this one because it's not Beat the Producer.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah.
You're over there just breathing easy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already getting wound up because last week I had my ass kicked by a listener in this one. But it's a lot of fun. Stevie Nicks, 2-time member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, of course, both as a solo artist and as a member of Fleetwood Mac. Matt Cameron going in as the 3rd 2-time drummer inductee this year. Soundgarden will go in. He's already in as a member of Pearl Jam. Don't think Blink. The other 2 drummers who were in twice. Ryder, who are they?
Oh, I have no idea.
Paul? It's real obvious. Grohl and Ringo. Come on. Nirvana, Foo, Beatles solo. Come on, guys.
It's funny.
One.
As soon as you said it, right, Ryder? As soon as he said the 2 answers, you're like, oh, yeah, duh.
And think of that list. And Matt Cameron joins that exalted company. Well done.
Well, good for it. Pays to play drums because every band freaking needs one.
It pays to play drums in Soundgarden and Pearl Jam. I can tell you that. Dude.
That's why I'm not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I chose the triangle, and I'm just, not a lot of bands needed a triangle.
It's not as easy to play a triangle as you might think. I've done a little triangle session. Those things can get away from you. You got to control is your best friend.
I've played the triangle.
Can't get too excited. The adrenaline can help you on the kit. It'll kill your triangle track. I'm there to tell you.
What's the fish?
It's the thing.
What's that thing called again?
It's called I never know the names of those things. I'm not a percussionist. I'm a drummer. I have drums and cymbals.
What the hell is that thing called?
I sit down when I play, damn it.
I loved playing that. Well, I was a trumpet player, and so I liked any chance I had to get to play the fish in jazz band was a ton of fun.
Well, you may be thinking of the gyro. I don't know how you say it.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
It's like a thing. It's built like a fish. It's got ridges, and you scrape a stick across it.
Okay.
It's one of those. I've played all of them. I don't care what they're called, because I hate doing it. I'm just like, guys, I'm not a percussionist. I'm a drummer. The difference is huge. I can fake it, but drummers know who the real percussionists are. When you see an actual percussionist, you're like, oh, that's a real thing. Okay. Yeah, I'm just over here faking it.
No, well, I was faking the percussionist part, the fish part. But I could stay, on time, which is all that mattered, I guess.
We're going to give away a couple tickets, but we're going to make a listener earn them. We're playing a game called Beat the Jock. Here's how it works. We will bring someone on the phone. They will choose to compete against either myself or Paul Fletcher. Okay. Ryder will give us each a category. The listener will go first. Then the jock will go. It's 20 seconds to give as many answers in the category as you can. And for the record, when the listener is giving their list, we will not be listening. Correct. We will remove our headphones, so we're flying blind as well. Okay, with that in mind, I believe I have explained that to a satisfactory level.
Yes,
let's start with Rose in Inver Grove Heights. Rose, good morning.
Good morning.
Rose, we'll just jump right in.
Okay, so Rose, your category is going to be things commonly stored in the garage. Do you want to play against Steve or do you want to play against Fletcher?
I think I'll go against Gorman.
Okay.
All right, I'm removing my
Headphones
headphones.
off, man.
Okay, I'll help you keep track of score again.
Okay, please do. All right, Rose, you're going to have 20 seconds to name as many things as you can.
All right.
Ready?
Steve's got his headphones off.
Ready, set, go.
Tools, snowblower, lawnmower, cars, motorcycle, van, a workbench, radio, wrenches, screwdrivers, lawn chairs, bikes, wagon, kids stuff.
5 seconds. 3.
Rafters.
Boom.
All right. I have two things. Are we giving both of those that were the same? I don't want to give anything away with Steve.
What's the same? I don't know.
There
Sorry.
was, you know what? Whatever. She
generous.
said car and van. Are we giving them both?
Oh,
Yeah, I think we're giving.
Yeah,
I
be
counted
generous.
those both.
Okay, we're gonna be generous. All
and
right,
then
fair enough.
I didn't count when she said kids stuff.
I counted that. I also
okay.
love that she said radio. I got to
I
point
got
that
one
out.
in the garage.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, for sure.
I got
Well
Rose
done.
coming in at 14. Fletcher, what do you got?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
All right, there we go.
Okay, Steve's got his cans back on, ready to
What's
rock.
what's the number?
14 again. Same as last week.
14. Good Lord.
Yeah, she was rattling. She was rattling.
Come on,
hard.
Rose. All right.
This is a real good number for you, Rose. I'm real stoked. I have a feeling that you are going to see Stevie Nicks, but let's see what Steve can do.
I hope so. I really want to go.
Okay, hang on. All right, Steve, reminder. The category is things commonly stored in the garage.
Yeah.
Ready, set, go.
Gardening tools, Christmas decorations, toys, frozen items in your freezer, outdoor furniture, paint, gym equipment,
6 seconds.
shoes, boots, accessories for the pool, photos of your neighbor's wife naked. No, I don't know. I hate
I
this
gave him
game.
the last one. I gave him the last one.
Neighbor's wife naked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I'll
if
leave
you
that
gave
one
me
to
the last
I'm
one,
not-
then you
I'm
clearly
not
know I
doing-
didn't hit 14.
Not doing shoes or boots.
Yeah, cars, vans.
Hold on, you don't keep
Workbenches.
shoes or boots in the garage?
No.
Not in the winter. It gets cold.
How are you going to get to them? I
Unless
do
it's
not
heated.
have an attached garage,
Neither
so
do
that's
I.
what I'm scoring.
I was picturing an attached. Okay, never mind. Fine, fair enough.
You know what? Actually,
So what, I had
our
21.
You had 21 minus 10.
Hold on, gardening tools. That's a hoe. That's a rake. That's your spade. That's
Hey,
a lot.
leave me on the hoe, bro.
Then you should have said hoe, rake, spade, and you would have gotten
you
credit
shoulda.
for that. But you lumped them all into one, and now you're stuck with.
Well,
Fletcher,
and-
did you say 11?
He had 11. Yep.
Are you counting shoes and boots?
Yeah, I counted shoes and boots, and I counted pictures of your next door neighbor naked because
Well, I counted those too, of course.
he wasn't getting there. He wasn't getting there, so I gave him all of them.
Well, I gave him 9, but it really doesn't matter because Rose, you're going to see Stevie Nicks.
Woo!
Rose, you performed like a you know what? Like the horses that'll be at the Kentucky Derby tomorrow. That's that. You were a thoroughbred today.
Oh yeah.
I guess,
Awesome.
like they always say, you got to get up pretty early in the morning to get one past Rose. And I just never knew what they were talking about. But now it finally makes sense, that old
Yeah.
saying.
I think she was probably up at 3 a.m. preparing for this.
All right, Rose, congratulations. I know you're going to have a great time at the concert. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
0 for 2. This
Yeah.
Ah!
I kind of like this game where we sit back and watch you sweat. It's kind of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's I'm thrilled to give tickets away, but I also like to win.
Yeah, I
so
know.
it's a bit of a I'm kind of a torn soul right now.
Yeah, and you were fighting for the garden stuff being multiple things. She said kids stuff, so we could have actually.
I didn't count kids stuff.
Yeah, well, I did, but I'm just saying if he gets multiple for that, then she would have gotten multiple, and it's a wash, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, listen, everybody who tried to get in there, thanks for calling. We're glad you're listening. And Rose, I know you're going to have a great time, and I'm going to try to relax and get over this, but I'm not going to lie. It pisses me off.
You like
Grumpy.
to win. Yeah,
I was
you like to win.
having such a great weekend until we played that damn game.
We're going to talk about
Yeah,
wolves shortly, so that'll perk you up.
Oh, that
Yeah.
will perk me up.
Yeah.
Or as my wife calls them, the 12s.
Oh, geez.
She's
The
upset.
12s,
Why
huh?
don't we just call them 12s? I'm like, stop it. She goes, no, I'm going to make you say. And now I've said it on air, and now she's laughing at me.
I bet.
I'm sure she is.
It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder, 92 KQRS.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, a band with a bassist named Flea.
Yes.
Just one name, one word that says it all. Flea.
When you just have one name, you're awesome. It just makes you kind of badass.
It's pretty cool.
I agree.
Oh,
says Ryder.
Listen to her.
Oh,
She
my
sure
goodness.
does. I mean, not only is her name Ryder, her husband's name is Mr. Ryder. How cool is that?
Yeah,
It's really,
A lot of
really
swag, a lot of
pretty-
swag over
pretty
there.
Badass. I never, Steve is such a common name. You can't get away with that. I did, growing up, Gorman's the kind of name everybody just calls you Gorman. They don't care, especially when you have a bunch of brothers. You're just, every one of us is Gorman, like in the neighborhood, But, it's pretty great. Like, as a drumming fanatic, as a Beatles fanatic, Ringo said it all to me. I was always like, how cool is it to just go around with one word?
Be Ringo. Just be Ringo.
There's
all
only
4 of them. When you say
Well,
John, Paul, George,
put 'em all
Ringo,
together, yeah.
boom.
When I was going to be confirmed in the Catholic Church, you take your confirmation name way ahead of Pope John Paul. I was going to be John Paul just because of the Beatles.
Oh, neat.
Nice.
Yeah, that was me. That's how I rolled.
What's even more amazing about the Beatles, John, Paul, George are such common names, yet you say Paul, almost everybody assumes you're talking about McCartney or Lennon.
Possibly. If you're talking rock music.
Well,
what do you
yeah,
mean?
who else would,
And what other
John Paul, maybe, I guess. I don't know. Who else is Paul?
What, if you're just talking music and you're like, oh, did you see what Paul did? I see. I think people say McCartney over Paul. They go to the last name.
That might be true.
I think. I mean, I could,
But if you're talking music and you just say Paul, people are going to know who you're talking about. Let's move on. Let's move on.
It's no Flea, put it that way. I mean, it
Fair.
doesn't stick out like Flea. But let's leave the bassist alone, although Paul does more. Your Paul does more than just play bass. Let's talk about the singers with single names.
Okay.
The iconic status you must have to just go through life where everyone knows you with one name. Who are the top ones? Who comes to mind first? 651-989-ROCK. And
I got one.
You got one?
Yeah.
Lay it on me.
When I say Aretha, does that count?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not another Aretha.
No, I don't think there's ever been
Yeah.
another Aretha.
And if there were-
notable status.
And speaking of Aretha and the respect given her, how about the man who wrote that song, Otis? There's only one Otis that matters
Yeah,
to
that's
me
true.
in my world, if you will.
Wasn't there a cartoon dog named Otis?
Watch yourself. We're talking about the greatest soul singer of all time.
I know.
He's only 26 when he died.
Dude, and that was OD.
And a mad whistle, too, by the way.
I'm sure he did. Are you kidding?
Yeah. No, I'm serious.
651-989-ROCK. Let me know who comes to mind when you think single named icons.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Otis Redding wrote the song Hard to Handle, and we already referenced the Big O, Otis. That's a single name.
Oh,
People
yeah.
say Otis Redding, but if you just leave it at Otis, I think they know who you're talking about as well. They certainly should. If you reference Otis and someone says, who's that? Cut that person out of your life.
Yeah. I mean, even if you don't go deep, if you don't at least know Dock of the Bay, we got serious problems.
So a lot of one-name singers out there, one-name celebs that come to mind. On the 651-989 KQ Talking text line, how happy am I to see the first one I looked down, someone wrote, Lemmy.
Yes.
Yes.
Is he a singer or is he a rock god?
He's just a rock god. He's the best. I met Lemmy one time. When it was at a bar, his Motorhead played a gig, and then in town, and a couple hours later, I'm at a bar late at night with a buddy whose name was Keith, and he was a bassist, and he goes, "Oh my God, there's Lemmy!" And we're just in a bar and watching a local band play, and there's Lemmy sitting we're in a venue, and at the actual bar, Lemmy's just sitting there by himself, 12:30, 1 a.m., having a drink, and my buddy walks right up to him and he goes, "Lemmy, oh my God. Can I run to my car and get my bass? And if I do, will you sign it?" And Lenny goes, "No, leave me alone." And my friend goes,
Classic.
"Really?" And he goes, "Oh, all right, go get it."
Yeah.
Just like that. It was like this all bark. And then he was like, couldn't have been more charming. Signed my buddy's bass, bought us drinks. Come on.
Oh, damn.
How great is Lemmy?
Lemmy has bought you a drink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever been more jealous of
Yeah,
you.
it was pretty great.
Awesome.
A lot of Aussies coming in as well in the text line. There's Lemmy, there's Ozzy.
I don't have a name for this one, but this is a person who's got my level of stupidity, sense of humor.
Okay.
Gerardo, the Rico Suave guy. Legendary. I'm like,
I didn't even know that was his name.
Yeah, I would have called him the Rico Suave
Dude,
guy.
the curly, long, oily hair and the boots and oh God, Rico.
I had no idea that was his name. So Sting gets a lot of votes. You know, I mean, love him or hate him, it's a great name for a singer.
For sure.
Sting. Pink. Pink's pretty big.
She is pretty big.
Pink's pretty big. I didn't see that one coming. I thought that was going to be a quick shelf life, just based on what most pop stars go through. But man, she's
cultivated
huge.
a career.
Is it more about with her? Is it more about the touring and the performance because she does all those acrobatics and stuff than the songs? She really nails that touring thing.
We've seen her a bunch. Yeah, partly because the kids love her. Also, as a part of my past life in radio. She's as good as anything you can see on planet Earth right now live. I mean, her acrobatics. She's 25 feet in the air doing full-blown Cirque du Soleil stuff. And then on top of that, she does all the rehearsal necessary to get, like she did a piece on, I think it was 60 Minutes or CBS Sunday Morning, where she had her yoga instructor stand on her abs and then had her warm up her vocals while she was standing on her. Okay. That's how she preps to be able to do what she does live. There's no lip syncing. It's all live. I don't think I would be as big a fan. I don't think I don't sit and listen to her music, but I'll go see her live anytime. She's unbelievable. I was going to defend her if you guys attacked.
Hey, man, last time I saw Kiss, Paul Stanley jumped in a thing and flew around the whole arena when he was chained in. That was pretty cool. It wasn't yoga guy standing on his abs, but for a man at his age flying around the arena, I was impressed.
So more like our top three. Did Prince make the cut?
Prince is definitely on the cut. On a ranking I'm looking at, Prince comes in number 2. One spot ahead of Adele. That's recency bias. I mean, Adele's a great singer, but come on, in the history of things, do you think of her?
Did she beat out a Cher?
She beat out Cher. Yeah. She beat out Madonna. She beat out, a few other. That's shocker. But number 2 is Prince. Number 1, it didn't even occur to me. But then, of course, it's like, well, of course, Elvis. That's your number 1. Yeah,
that's a no-brainer.
Obviously, don't mean Costello, but Elvis.
Yeah, the other Elvis.
One singer that I always just say use one name for, but it's too bad because he's got such a great last name. Is Freddie Mercury. I just say Freddie. I think if you're talking singers and you say Freddie, no one assumes you mean Fred Durst. You're talking about Freddie Mercury.
You are.
But when your last name's Mercury, it's too cool to leave off.
Yeah, you just got to say it.
You could just, but if you say Freddie, you know who you're talking about.
The thing I'll say about Adele, though, songs are really strong. Yeah. The voice is one of the best of all time. Yeah. 120 million records. I mean, I don't know if it's just recency bias. She might just be that good.
Oh, no, I'm not taking anything away from her. I just don't think of it as like, that's
She's
me.
She's got to earn it a little longer, maybe, to move up to number 3.
Ahead of Madonna and Cher.
That's.
I'm not saying I'm a Madonna fan by anywhere. I'm just saying they've been around 40, 60 years.
When this topic first came up, the very first thing that popped in my head is Page and Plant, but then I guess one of them's not a singer.
Well, that's very true.
But 2 iconic names, and they could just go by the single one.
For sure.
Maynard. Getting a little love on the talking text line.
That's a good one. I like that voice. I like that voice.
Going after my rock and roll roots.
Here's my favorite though: Jake and Elwood, 2 first name singers, the Blues Brothers. Come on, there's your winner right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but how about Dolly? Where's Dolly on that list?
Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, the Queen always. You know what? Here's the funny thing about Dolly. She ends up on every list. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, most badass human ever. Sure. Who gave the most books to kids? Dolly. Everything about her,
Dolly.
she's on every list.
Songwriting, Dolly.
Saw her play a gig a few years back where she came on stage and played in the course of a show. She had she did most of the set by herself, and then when she had accompaniment, it was just a guy playing a snare drum with brushes and then a stand-up bass player. And then every song she played an electric guitar, an acoustic guitar, a mandolin, a banjo, a fiddle. It was 7. I think she played 7 different instruments, and in between songs told stories and sang and just worked the stage. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and that was the year she turned 70.
Way to go, Dolly!
It was just like it's at the Ryman, the Mother Church of country music, and just sitting there watching her, and just all I thought was, man, just put her in glass and keep her alive forever.
I was just gonna say she is the definition of a national treasure.
Oh,
and quite honestly, Adele, Madonna, Cher all should take a backseat. She should be 3.
I could make a strong case for 1. You know, Elvis wanted to record "I Will Always Love You," and she said, "No, I'm good." Because when Elvis did your song, when Elvis Presley covered your song, he took half your publishing. And 9 times out of 10, the singer's like, great. Because if he sings it, my half will be more than my whole otherwise. You know what I mean? Like if Elvis does your song, you're going to make so much money off your half, way more than you would have made if you maintained all of it. And he said, I want to do that one, little lady. I love that song. And Dolly said, nah, I'm good. I'll just hang out and do it myself.
Then she let Whitney do it.
And then Whitney
did it well. I mean, she did
you
it really
think?
Well. Yeah, she did okay.
Yeah, I'd say she's
an okay singer.
Okay. She did all right with that one.
Is Whitney a one? I mean, Whitney's a one name.
I guess that would be true. I mean, you could say that. Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead with it. Let's give it to Whitney.
All right, so we're putting Dolly in the top 3 for sure, and arguably maybe number 1.
A little less than an hour from right now, Elizabeth Reis from Twin Cities Live will be joining us in studio.
I'm stoked.
I'm
TV person.
Stoked as well.
92 KQRS.
Got great news. While we were listening to music, me and Paul Fletcher saved and solved all of the world's problems.
Most of them. Well, you did most of the solutions.
We don't have time to get into it, but trust me, it's all going to be okay now because that's how we roll.
That's right.
Over here when Depeche Mode is playing. It's Friday. Right. It's May the 2nd, and I'm feeling Minnesota, so by God, Paul, give me the headline.
Hey, I got a quick nugget for Rosemary. Hopefully she's listening. National Space Day. Enjoy it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's National Space Day.
God, give that kid an ocean or a sky full of stars, and she's happy.
Same.
Just staring out.
Same.
Yeah.
In that regard, we are the same person.
Okay.
I'm sure there's plenty of places we're not, but in that regard,
I love a good abyss.
Okay.
That's right.
So there we go.
Did you like The Abyss, the Cameron film?
You know, shockingly, I did. I was looking through all these movies because we talked so much crap on Rank You Very Much yesterday about James Cameron and that and Alien. He does have some goodies.
There's some moments in The Abyss that are real emotionally like, ooh, boy, that was a good one.
Well, and as much as we hammered on Titanic, and trust me, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, there's brilliance in that movie, and he made, like, there's moments in that where it's just like, wow. I mean, from the special effects and the way he did it, the way it was shot, et cetera, et cetera.
You know what? Okay, fine. I'll give you credit. The sinking, from the minute the thing really starts to go sideways, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. That was pretty cool.
I spent most of my high school days making fun of that scene, the steamy car scene where her hand goes. I was like, that's not real.
That's not real.
No.
James Beard Award-winning chef and the mind behind Spoon and Stable, which is an incredible restaurant. Gavin Kaysen is set to open his first restaurant outside of Minnesota. The Merchant Room will be his newest, and it's set to open this fall at the new Naples Beach Four Seasons.
Sweet.
It's not a bad spot to go, I don't think.
No, it's very, very
place
nice
to eat. In sad news today, Jill Sobule passed away in a Minnesota house fire, actually, in Woodbury. She was 66 years old. This happened yesterday morning. Her representative confirmed this to Rolling Stone. Sobule, best known for the 1995 hit, I Kissed a Girl. Ooh. Widely regarded as a groundbreaking song in the LGBTQ plus space, if you will. I mean, really, even before there was one. She was scheduled to perform in Denver this weekend and had multiple releases planned for June, too. Man. Just awful.
Denver Girl, that's her hometown. The hometown show, I just saw there's instead of that happening at the same venue, there will just be a celebration of her life and career, which I imagine will be really, really emotional for everybody involved.
A very fitting way to remember her.
It is a fitting way to remember her. An absolute gem, according to everybody I've ever known that met her even briefly or worked with her extensively. Nothing but high marks. It's a real big loss for the music and songwriting community, for sure.
It's such an awful way for it to happen.
Yep.
Like, totally preventable, theoretically. You can find Green Day at 7-Eleven and Speedway stores starting now. If you need a little boost or a treat this afternoon, the band has partnered with the chain to release a Green Day Slurpee flavor called Kerplunk Candy Grape. It's inspired by cotton candy grapes, which Green Day requests on their tour riders, allegedly.
Okay.
The name Kerplunk Candy Grape, of course, references their 1992 album, Kerplunk.
That all checks out. It stands to reason.
I'm going to get one on the way home.
I have a sugar headache just listening to you talk about that. I may have gotten a cavity right now.
You and me both.
A constant battle my entire life. I'll pass my headache on to you guys later. Smashing Pumpkins' Billy Corgan owns a tea room in Chicago's Highland Park area called Madame Zuzu's. It's a tea. They offer teas. They also have full plant-based menu. Sell vinyl. They've got a small performance space as well. Sounds like a kind of a cool spot to hang out. It's also a really cool place to park your car, apparently. Last October, a car drove over the curb directly into the front window of the shop. That was back in October. You're like, okay, these things happen. Well, this is a little strip mall, like outdoor mall looking area. No curves in the road. I'm guessing the speed limit's like 25. Well, 2 days ago, it happened again. Another car crashed into the front window of Madame Zuzu's.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. Highland Park, what would you call that? You'd call that a Tony neighborhood, a upscale
It's a
very pleasant place to be.
An Edina-ish suburb of Chicago, for sure. I mean, 2 cars in what is that? What do we have? 4, 2, 6, 7 months? That's crazy.
Yeah. Somebody's really trying to either win a bet or they lost a bet or
they don't like Billy. That's what I've got.
I tell you what I got. I got a couple of things to share from the world of sport, and that is the Minnesota Wild. Nice effort, fellas. Came up short last night against the Vegas Golden Knights. The 4-minute power play, 3 minutes into the game, is a tough way to shake it. A tough way to get it going. We haven't even discussed that play. That was a stick to the face. It looked downright intentional on TV. It was like, whoa, you're just trying to take the guy's head off right now early in the game, but one thing led to another. Lucky to only give up 1 power play goal on the 4-minute.
Yeah, I mean, to get out of it with 1 goal, I guess, you'd like to get out of it with none, of course, but to get out of it with 1 and then be able to strike back, but at the same time, team that scored the first goal, the whole series won every single game.
Every single series. Philip Gustafson, 20 saves. Said he felt fine after that sickness in game 5 that he dealt with. Long story short, the better team won the series.
Yeah.
No one's going to make the case that the Wild were upset in the series or that they, in fact, should have won. Did they have a chance to win? Absolutely. Could they have won? Of course, but the better team won.
A lot of people complaining about officials, non-calls, yada, yada, yada. You know what? I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm an NHL coach, but I do coach high school hockey, which is a high level. You can't blame refs.
No.
There's always something else. I don't care how egregious the call is or the non-call is. You always have opportunities, and you know what? It was a very close series.
It was,
but the better team won.
The Timberwolves will be in action either Monday or Tuesday night, depending on what happens with Golden State and Houston. If Golden State advances, the Wolves will host that series. If the Rockets advance, Houston will host that series. Byron Buxton has now joined Kirby Puckett and Torrey Hunter as the only Twins to have 100 homers and 100 steals in their career. That's a sweet. Anytime you're on a list and the other 2 guys are Kirby Puckett and Torrey Hunter, you're doing okay for yourself. Congrats to Byron Buxton, a man whose legs, more often than not, don't work. I mean,
made of glass.
I'm telling you, man. I've been suggesting leg transplants for a while for this poor guy.
He might not be that fast, though. Yeah, he's joined guys that go by one name, Kirby and Torrey.
That's
maybe
a good point.
Eventually he'll be a Byron.
St. Paul, we're thinking of you. We love you, St. Paul. Glad to have St. Paul on board this morning.
That's right.
You know what to do with that information.
They could use a little hug after last night. St. Paul's probably a little sad today.
Quick bargument time. If you could implant a song into your, let's not say arch enemy, your nemesis.
Okay.
Let's say you have everybody has a good nemesis at some point in their life. If you could stick a song in their head, they'd have to hear it forever. What song would you pick? Oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah, this is great.
On the text line 651-989-ROCK. Already here. Oh my God. I don't even want to say it out loud because it happens. The Cars for Kids jingle.
But people say that, but that works. You definitely know where to bring your car if you're ready to donate it.
Okay, that's a bunch of those. There's Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting. Come on, what's wrong with that? Carl Douglas?
Maybe if you stuck it into your enemy's head, they would suddenly become your friend.
Wow, see, that could be it.
I like Rochelle's Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim.
Yeah, that's pretty strong.
Over and over. Oh.
Yeah, that's tough. I went back and forth. The first thing that comes to mind for me is always my most hated song of all time, which is Torn Between Two Lovers. But I'm not going to play that. But then I realized, wait, there's a song that I actually love. It's been one of my favorite songs my whole life, but I know that it makes people crazy, at least one specific part. And so for the people that can't take a good little bit of yodeling in their life, Hocus Pocus by Focus, a completely raucous rock track by a Dutch prog rock band. But there's the middle break where the yodeling kicks in.
Yeah.
And when that hits, I'm happy, but I know other people just run for the hills.
But you so rarely hear it because it's so divisive.
Yeah,
People who love it freaking love the crap out of it.
I tell you what, man, badass band too. I don't know, and I don't know the drummer's name, but one of the great drum tracks of all time, a little Hocus Pocus right here from Focus.
Oh yeah.
But when my brother had this album when I was a kid, my older brother Tom, and I listened to this song. I'll call it a good 1,300 times in the year 1972.
That's a lot.
Couldn't get enough. I mean, they're Dutch, but it makes me want some Swiss chocolates and some lederhosen and some.
They're probably doing that dance too that goes with it.
A little alpine hiking. Come on. Hey, kind of got some good news here. We're not done for the day, not by a long shot. And in fact, we're going to be joined by Elizabeth Reis of Twin Cities live in the studio. If you got any questions, AMA, Ask Me Anything Friday, 651-999-ROCK. Any questions for Elizabeth? She'll be with us momentarily.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS with Fletcher and Ryder, and now with Elizabeth Reis.
Hi, guys.
What's up?
Hi.
Thanks for having me. Turns out when you invite yourself on someone's radio show,
Right.
you might get an invite. That's Minnesota nice.
It sure is.
Like it.
Yeah. No, and when you did that, I was like, that sounds great. And then I badmouthed you behind your back. So,
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm
Yeah.
learning how Minnesota works.
That's fair.
Very
That's
Minnesota.
it. Yeah, very passive aggressive.
Yep.
And hopefully you cut somebody off when they tried to zipper merge. You could do that too.
Man, that's a real thing, isn't it?
Listen,
the
people-
3594 thing coming up from South. Boy, I fight it all the time.
I know.
About as divisive, too, as far as the tactic. It's about as divisive as anything in
Well,
the
and
Twin
it's not
Cities.
passive aggressive. It's just straight up aggressive. And I'm like, guys, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
We got to use all the lanes until the last minute.
Sure, of course. Yeah,
I'm
Zipper
a
merging is a real thing.
And it should function properly.
it should.
It's even the theory of it. Like, you are making, somebody thinks you're cutting them off and you're slowing them down and you're ruining everything.
I know.
No, I'm actually keeping things moving.
I know you've got to use all the lanes up until the last possible minute. Why cut down to 2 lanes 3 miles before you have to?
Because then
It's
you've
baffling.
got backup for 6 miles instead of 4 miles.
Gosh, my blood pressure is going up just talking about this.
Yeah, I see. I'm my third year in town, but coming up from the South, a part of the world we call has an honor code,
Yeah.
which is don't you dare let someone get in front of you. My God, this is my highway. I'm racing. It's a NASCAR mindset down south. You just went down south.
I know. I was in Nashville a few weeks ago.
How was it?
It was great.
Yeah?
I love Nashville.
you?
It's so fun. Yes. And I spent a little time in East Nashville. And
Okay.
then in 12 South. And then, of course,
Oh, sure.
the Broadway area.
The whole thing.
It's really fun. I can only handle about 2 hours of like a bar on Broadway with the noise level. And then I have to escape and then I can come back.
I can handle less. It's like I'm minus 3 hours. I can't even think about going down there. So you got me beat if you can hang down there for 2 hours.
It's just a fun city.
It
It's
is.
just like exciting. It's good. And I like going there. And it's a quick zip. We did have a little wind issue and we had to take a pit stop in Chattanooga. Lovely this time of year. I was on the ground for 30 minutes. And then we got back up.
Wait, Chattanooga?
Yeah, they diverted us to Chattanooga because the wind was so bad in
Clearly.
Nashville when we were
Wow.
on our way.
I don't know I don't know a single person that had ever landed in Chattanooga intentionally.
It was an accident for
It's
sure.
the home of the diversion.
And it's a different time zone, which
sure
is
is.
confusing. How
Yeah.
do you do that? How do you have one state with multiple time zones? Bananas.
I've had more than a few conversations with people who are in Nashville and they're heading to either Knoxville or Chattanooga. And I will say, that's Eastern time zone. And they laugh and they think I'm joking. I'm like, no. You have an hour extra. You just don't know it yet.
It's insanity.
Yeah, it really is.
It is really wild.
So please tell me you weren't down there for like a bridesmaids weekend.
No,
Okay,
this
good.
this was just a
Thank
little
God.
girls' getaway. No, but there are a lot of bachelorette parties happening.
Yeah,
I'm too
yeah.
old for a bachelorette party at this point. I accept the compliment that you thought
Sure.
that was a possibility
Yeah.
for me. But no, it was just a fun girls' weekend. I've got a couple girlfriends who I grew up with and who just like love live music more than anything else. It like
Oh, nice.
fills their soul.
Good people to have in your life.
Good people. And so they're the ones that are always booking the concert tickets. They're always like, should we go? And so when they said, should we go to Nashville again? We did a trip a few years ago. I said, I'm in. I'm on board.
That's awesome. Elizabeth, you grew up where?
Apple Valley, Minnesota. Go Eagles.
Wow.
The brown and the gold.
Winners of the longest game in state high school hockey history.
Is that true?
You didn't know that?
No.
It was at the state tournament. They played Duluth East. I was at the game. It went till 2:30 in the morning.
So that was probably
6 overtime,
I think
96.
it was yes, because it was just my. Let's see, I graduated from high school in '99, so I think it was the year before I got there.
99.
Graduated in
Yeah.
99.
Yeah.
So that
Thanks, guys. I like being called young.
A perfect opportunity to ask you then. First concert, not one that you were dragged to with your parents, but like the first one that you were like, oh my God, I'm going to see this band. I'm cool. This is it.
You're
What
going to
was
love
it?
this. It was Prince at the Target Center. And,
Wow.
and-
Hard to
and,
beat.
You can't beat that.
No.
That's the best first concert. And
And
I
which-
went with my friend, and her older sister took us. And
What
I don't-
year?
Okay, so I've looked it up. So I think it was 97.
Yeah, sure.
It had to have been. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting now. We could look it up again.
No,
but
that's fine.
It was at the Target
double check
Center.
for you.
So it was while you were still in high school.
Oh yeah, and vivid memories.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Maybe it was even earlier. Maybe I was 8th grade. It was.
Strong.
I remember him being like so small and so nimble. Mm-hmm. Just nimble.
Yeah.
Bounding about. And then the only other most nimble is Aerosmith. Steven Tyler. When I saw him, I was like, oh, this is like another Prince. So small and so nimble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tiny and nimble people.
Would it have been in December that you saw him?
It had to have been.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
December 11th, 1997.
That has got to be it.
Boom.
Wow.
I know. And I don't have like even pictures of it because, it was
why
the
would
90s.
you didn't? You were there. You still remember it, and that's better than pictures.
I do remember. I remember being on the side and
Yeah.
kind of up, and I remember seeing the stage very clearly from the side.
Sign of the Times tour, late 80s. The coolest thing about that show to me was that the band came out on stage and everybody was wearing stage attire, not something you'd see somebody at the IHOP in, and everybody's name was in big letters on their leg. His said Prince, and then Wendy said Wendy. The bass players said bass.
Yeah.
And I just thought that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's a rock star move.
Yeah,
right there.
it was really
I wore
strong.
pants like that.
Yeah.
All right,
You want some now?
Yeah.
We got to ask Elizabeth, who is your favorite band?
Okay, I'm going to go with, I really think like when you think about a band that just formative is Dave Matthews Band. And I know that's hard for some people to take, but I love Dave Matthews Band. I mean, like I hear the song Satellite and my every cell in my body responds to it.
Sure.
And when you see the Dave Matthews Band in concert and the unbelievable musicianship, my mom is a violinist too. So like his fiddler, when they play, it's like I get tears.
Oh, wow.
Right.
I'm going to allow it because at least you had an answer. When Steve asked your co-host, Ben Lieber, who is his favorite band, it kind of went like this.
Don't do any music trivia because I'm terrible with trivia when it comes to music.
Favorite band?
I mean, you can't do that to me.
Black Crowes.
Come on.
you idiot.
You can't do that to me.
Don't do that to
Yeah,
me.
the Angel song.
Nothing without you.
The Angel song is great. That's like
that Angel song.
Yeah, I don't.
That one.
I'm telling you, I'm not good.
Have you taught him a
Well done,
lesson?
Elizabeth.
Does he know to have his favorite band just holstered, ready to go
He
now?
needs to have that ready. I can't believe I said you idiot to him. That was kind of harsh.
I have it on good authority that once upon a time his answer would have been Imagine Dragons.
Wow. Well, then it's better to say he doesn't know. It's just one man's opinion.
Oh my gosh.
I saw Dave Matthews Band. I did a couple shows with them, but then the first time I ever just watched them play was not that long ago. Probably 3 or 4 years ago. Went to a show. His guitar tech is an old friend of mine, and so I finally went. I was able to sit there and take in the entire set.
Yeah.
And the musicianship's great, but the fervor, the love in that room was actually, and I'm a jaded old, kind of a-hole, and I was like, man, this is special.
Yeah, it is special.
Yep.
The last time I saw him was at Alpine Valley. My husband has been to see him at Alpine like 11 times.
Yeah.
And we get a bus and go down there, and this is pre-kids life,
Yeah.
But it's just
2008 did 2 nights at Alpine Valley with Dave Matthews. The Black Crowes did.
special. Okay.
And my kids remember it only because there was some good putt-putt in the area.
Yeah.
And so they were more into that than the shows themselves.
Yeah.
That is fun, though. Isn't
Yeah.
Alpine so fun?
It's awesome.
That's where I saw Aerosmith. I also saw Jimmy Buffett there, but frankly, I don't remember much.
No,
From college.
most people don't.
I would hope not. If you did remember a lot of it, you were probably doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I think I ate a burrito at Qdoba on the way down there, and then we ate one for breakfast on the way back to
And
Madison.
that's all you ate.
That was
See,
Madison.
I saw Jimmy Buffett as a college student as well, but it was a very different experience because I was still in my you don't understand me. I'm here to rebel, and I have to tear down all the institutions I see. And so I ended up breaking up with a girl because she liked Jimmy Buffett and I didn't. Led to the dissolution of a relationship.
Golly.
Says a lot more about me than anybody else there. I look back and I go, "What? How could I not have fun at a Jimmy Buffett show? What was wrong with me?"
It's fun.
Yeah,
It's fun.
I know.
Drawing those hard lines in the sand, though, about music and things that we love at certain ages.
Yeah.
It's more important than anything
That's
else.
very true. I mean, I'm a child of the 90s, so like as soon as a band got successful, they were immediately sellouts.
Of course.
I mean, what
Yeah.
racket. What a terrible thing.
We were talking about this yesterday, about how, this is the greatest band in the world, and I want everybody to know that, but I don't want anybody else to be fans. That was your exact line yesterday, pretty much.
Green Day and Weezer were the biggest offenders.
When REM had a hit, they were that was my religion, and then the one I love is a top 10 song, and I was sad for them. Oh, they're never gonna be any good anymore. That's because, young music fans are kind of stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
So your mom, Elizabeth Reis, you said she's a violinist.
Yeah, she was a violinist. She still plays on occasion. Mm-hmm. She went to school on a full ride for violin, and she was Miss Fort Worth 1978, a Texas beauty queen.
Look out!
Her talent was violin, and she won the talent competition in the Miss Texas pageant, too.
Wow.
She's amazing. When I hear a violin tuning, I love it.
And so how much of that did she pass down to her daughter, Elizabeth?
Well,
musical talent,
we all took music lessons. We all had to be in a music lesson at all times. And my dad was a minister when I was growing up, so he was a pastor, so I would sing in church services all the time. I've since retired, but I was free labor. That's what you do,
of course.
And I remember taking a few guitar lessons, and then they were like, "Yeah, all right, you're ready to play on a Sunday morning." And I was like, "I know 4 chords. I'm not, but I do still know those chords." Right,
of course you do. I took a guitar class in 10th grade, and all I know on guitar is what I learned in that class. All these years, I just never. It's not a natural thing for me. I think the fact that I look so bad holding a guitar really steered me away. I had the self-awareness to go, I can't make this look cool.
I don't think anybody looks bad holding a guitar. I think a guitar is an immediate, you're maybe a 6 out of 10 on a hotness scale. You hold a guitar, you're getting yourself to an 8.5.
Well, if I wear a guitar and then don't put my hands in a position where it looks like I'm even doing it here, it's just so wrong. The drumming thing was easy. Guitars, I have photographs of me with a guitar just because they're so funny. I do it on purpose to wind people up.
Okay, my 10-year-old just got the option to play an instrument. Now they're going to be able to play in 5th grade.
Okay.
And so her top 2 choices are the flute or the drums.
Really?
So what are we going to do?
Piano.
Quite a stretch.
Got to start on the piano because you can take that anywhere.
I know. I tried, and it was hard with her to get her to practice.
I'll just for anecdotally, I'll share with you. I'm from a very large family, a lot of nephews, a lot of nieces, and several of my nephews over the years would say, "Uncle Steve, I really want to play drums." And what I would say is, "Okay," and I'd get them a drum kit. And those siblings of mine, after that happened, would never want to see me again. So if you bring a drum kit into a house with a kid, you're asking for trouble.
Mm-hmm. Maybe she'll be a flautist.
It's not a bad thing to carry through life.
It's not, and it's not that painful a learning process, I don't think.
No.
I mean, it's like, even a bad flute is going to sound okay.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
I played the flute for a while.
So as a kid in Apple Valley, you're very close to the Twin Cities, which is always a vibrant musical community. Great artists, left, right, and center in every genre. Was there ever a moment? Did you think, I got 4 chords, maybe I'll put a little rock and roll combo together. Maybe I'll go down to First Ave and shake it up a little bit.
No, I think I knew I was better at talking than singing.
Really?
Yeah, that was it. And but we used to go down to First Ave. Even when I moved back here, of course. Right. And it was always a point of pride.
Right. But as well it should be.
I didn't think I had a musical future. I thought I was just medium talented. And that's good to know. Self-awareness is important.
Huge.
You can't think you're great at everything.
Well, it's the worst thing you can have if you're going to start a band and jump in. You have to believe you're just destined for greatness. But it's helpful to have that little thing when you're by yourself late at night where you go, I might actually suck. But then you just don't share it with anybody else. But as long as you know, I can tell you every great band was not great when they started. They were all kind of terrible. You got to be able to just kid yourself that you're on the right path, at least for a little while.
Yeah, but music is so good for you. It's so good for your soul. It's good for your body. It's good for your mind.
I'm a fan. I'll be honest. I say thumbs up to music.
You're into it, huh?
Yeah.
You went into the right line of work.
Kind of a thing for me.
Yeah.
That's really great.
I was going to be originally. I went to school. I was a broadcasting student. I was going to be a sportscaster. That was plan one. Because I thought, well, how do you can't really make it as a guy in a band. I didn't know anybody that wanted to start a band with me. So that was always plan A. Were you similarly? Did you always think like broadcasting or some sort of? Was that it? Or was there something else?
Yeah. When I was about 13, I was watching the news.
No kidding.
And I remember a few times in my life I've gotten that still small voice that turns out is your own voice in your head.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I can do that.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I can do that. And then I would just seek out mentors, or mentors would show up all the time, right when I needed somebody. And then it just turned into always doing the next right thing.
Wow.
That got me to the next right place.
Fantastic.
And then I have the best job. I mean, and it's with just the right amount of people knowing who you are to make it pleasant, and not too much that it makes your life miserable.
No, it's just do the next right thing. I just immediately thought, I have 2 daughters. I just immediately went to Anna in Frozen 2.
It's so good.
Do the next right thing.
Do the next right thing. We should break into song.
Go for it.
No, I don't.
Okay, you know what? Here, let's totally random. I'm going to derail the whole thing. Is there one Disney movie or kids movie or show that you just absolutely cannot handle?
Zootopia. I freaking love Zootopia.
Oh, no, I said that you couldn't handle.
Oh.
But yes, Zootopia is genius.
Zootopia is the best kids movie of all time, and it's great for adults that I just can't handle. Yeah, I mean, gosh, I do like a lot of the Disney things.
Yeah, we're in a good spot.
The old ones can be a little tough. You know, turns out they're racist.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, huh. Yeah, turns out.
But I was just at Disneyland for the first time ever. I never went to any Disney property as a kid. And we took our kids to Disneyland last month.
Which one?
The one in California.
Okay,
Land.
The original Land in Anaheim. And I thought, I'm going to hate all of this. And then I thought, this is great.
Pretty great.
They are next level. They are the bar for customer service.
It's just the Rise of the Resistance Star Wars ride. If you're a Star Wars nerd, and frankly, even if you aren't, but we are like big Star Wars nerds, it was fully life-changing. We walked out, and my husband and I were like, this is as good as it gets. This is it.
Strong.
I was just blown away at how every turn. We had a couple minor issues. We had 3 minor issues along the way. They eliminated all of those because their belief is like, we need to get this, and this off of your mind so that you can just go focus and have fun.
Wow.
They have underground tunnels.
I know.
Where they pop up, and if there's a popcorn kernel, you go to Valley Fair. Valley Fair is a largely clean park.
They do a good job.
But you see popcorn, you see a chip here. You'll never see any of that at Disneyland. It's just unbelievable the lengths that they go to make sure you are just in a magic kingdom where you're not thinking about reality.
Well, and getting a family of 5 in for the day is about a morttage. It was unbelievable.
It is miraculous.
I couldn't believe how expensive it was.
Yeah.
I was physically harmed by that. But,
Did you survive, though?
Core memories. Core memories were made.
100%.
I'm happy to say that we traded in the Disney package for the college tuition package a few years back. So, it's about the same.
You're going to be working forever.
Oh, yeah. Neither kid got the in-state memo. That's the funniest part.
Financial guy Dave Ramsey, he says no out-of-state to college should even be an option for anybody. That's how hard he regulates on that.
Well, I mean, listen. Well, I didn't get that memo.
No.
See, a lot of memos getting missed in the
He's based
Gorman
in
house.
Nashville. You probably met him. Didn't you ever run across him?
I have.
I've never met him.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Okay.
That's just me. Hey, so you mentioned you have the greatest job in the world. How long have you been doing Twin Cities Live?
It'll be 16 years next month.
Holy cow, I didn't realize that.
16 years,
That's pretty awesome.
And before that, I did about 7 years in news, so it's been...
Yeah,
I started in TV when I was 21.
Wow.
You guys want to guess how old I am?
pretty great.
Not doing that. Not playing that game.
Well, let's see. 16. No, I'm not going to do the math.
Nope.
It's too early.
16 and 7 is 23, but I'm not going to even figure out when it started. And not going to bite on that one.
You're on a tear, is what you're telling us.
It just keeps on going.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
It's really just keeps on going, and it keeps growing. And it's really amazing when I think back to the beginning of what it was and what we even thought our potential was.
Yeah.
And it was so small. And then it's everywhere I go. People say that it's such a big part of their afternoons and how much they love it. I had a woman the other day be like, I won't answer the phone from 3 to 4:30. It's just being part of somebody's daily rhythm. You guys know this in radio is the greatest privilege.
It's fantastic.
It's one thing to have them show up to a concert or show up and but when you're a part of their daily life, it's a huge honor.
Yeah, you're totally perfectly worded. 1,000%.
Final question.
What? It's over already?
Yeah. No, we got to bounce.
One in real quick.
Go ahead, Ryder.
Can we give a shout out to Joe Schmidt, who was on the show this week and has retired after 40-something years? My question is he going to actually retire and relax?
No.
Or no? Okay.
No. It's a reinvention. He'll be doing all of his things. He and Dave Dahl were on the show for Joe's final day.
I saw Dave Dahl bring out an urn, and I was like, that's a little dark, man.
Cremation Society of Minnesota, he does their ads, and he wanted to gift Joe his it was very funny. And those two were already coming up with segment ideas to go do for us on Twin Cities Live. They're like, should we go to the state fair? What should we do? Yeah. And we said, listen, you're always welcome. Both class acts.
For sure.
You are always welcome here.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Ryder, I'm going to show up every Friday. I told you that.
I will be there to let you in until I'm not.
I'm just going to wait and see if you have time for me.
My final question is this, and if you don't have an answer, that's fine. Do you know what your next concert will be? Have you got a ticket? Or you already? And if you don't, that's fine.
I actually don't have a ticket to anything.
All right.
I'm kind of thinking Indigo Girls and Melissa Etheridge at the fair would be really fun.
That would be really fun.
I have never seen them live, and I think I would like it.
Melissa Etheridge.
Amy and Emily bringing it as always. The Indigo Girls.
So good.
Saw them play to nobody back in the day. We were all coming out of Atlanta at the same time.
Oh, really?
Wonderful people.
See, that's great.
Salt of the earth.
I've seen Zach Bryan a couple times lately. I went to Pink. I get to my fair share of concerts.
Second Pink reference on the show today. That's a new record.
Pink was one that I went thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to like a Pink concert. And then I was like, I know every song.
Yeah.
And her performance is, I mean, it's as good as anything on the planet.
She's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, I have one last one. That's
you guys, I love this.
One more.
One more. What?
Yeah. Do you have a bottle of Red Dye 40 in your purse right now?
No.
But you would bring it with you if you're going to eat?
I would never have it with me. No.
Oh, man.
All right, I just got given some bad information.
I do not like Red Dye 40. Who's talking to you?
Bad intel.
Who's texting you?
Probably the person that has your back been sore the last couple of years from carrying Ben Lieber?
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Oh, he mentioned bring up Red Dye 40. He knows how to wind me up and get me worked up. Artificial
How about brining chicken?
I love brining chicken. I'm so into brining chicken. Brining chicken has changed my life. I've got a chicken.
He's a jerk. Brining chicken is a kitchen sin, and she will never be friends with you if you do it. That's his exact words.
Wow.
He's worthless. He can't name a favorite band, and he can't give any good dirt.
I got a chicken thawing in the fridge, and I'm going to brine that son of a gun tomorrow, and we're going to roast her up. And you guys are going to give me your personal cell phone numbers so I can text you pictures of it.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and if you're coming back next Friday, then I know what you're doing Thursday.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's bring some of that chicken brine on over.
Chicken.
Yeah, 100%.
If I showed up here with a roasted chicken, how pumped would you guys be?
Like blue ribbon pumped, top shelf.
Mind.
Yeah,
we'd have to keep the dog in the other room.
Good Lord,
he's such a nice guy. I love him.
Great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for allowing me to invite myself and then formally inviting me.
If you want to hear a whole bunch of great music for the next few hours, Paul, anything you want to say about that?
No, I've been so focused on this conversation that I haven't prepared a single thing. So if you want to hear a guy completely winging it for the next hour, well, then let's listen.
That makes a plan.
Yeah.
Gorman in the Morning. We'll see you Monday on Minnesota's 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the Morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the Morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.